We are back, Peanut Gallery. We're talking about NXT Stand and Deliver.
Hooray for matinee shows.
Matinee shows?
Yeah, a show that takes place like in the early afternoon.
Right, yeah.
So,
we weren't going to watch that, and also WrestleMania was already like a 10-hour fiasco that we had to watch.
I mean, I'm sweating just thinking about WrestleMania right now.
You're fine. But I think overall Stand and Deliver was good. I liked a lot of it. Let's talk about our opening contest. We had a 5-man ladder match. I loved this opener. I think this was a great pace starter for the show itself. And I don't think it exhausted people.
It was very weirdly paced. You can tell that a lot of these guys are just not used to being on ladders, and it really showed. I was not a fan.
Well, I'll talk about this when we make Pro Wrestling Majestic again, but I like this for a lot of reasons. Number one, so it was Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa, Grayson Waller, Cameron Grimes, Santos Escobar. Yeah, that's it. And I thought this was a really fun match overall. I thought some of the people did a lot of crazy stuff that really... There were a lot of spots that I will say, I remember that sort of spot. Like Grayson Waller doing the elbow drop. It's like...
Not really. There's not really a lot of that.
It's like that's gonna hurt him a lot later.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I remember from this match because it just wasn't that interesting for me.
I thought everybody did their part very well. I wish Santos won, but Cameron Grimes won. A good feel-good moment, though. I will say one thing.
It's fine.
But for me, who actually watches this show every week. It was definitely something that I really like because, Cameron Grimes is awesome. Also, I loved his entrance with the little rocket ship dropping down because he does it to the moon. That was great.
Fucking Elon Musk wannabe. Here.
I love it. I will say one thing. I'm going to give this one a solid thumbs up. I thought everything about it was good. Also, well, the build-up was also really good. We'll talk about that when we make this Majestic again. Let's talk about the match. Tony D'Angelo, Tommaso Ciampa. I thought this match was fine. And honestly, Tommaso Ciampa eating the pin like he did really showed Tony D'Angelo is a star. He looked really good in this match.
He's not a very good character. I do not like this.
You don't like the whole
it's
bop it a boopy.
It's so stereotypical.
It really is.
Just be you, man.
No, wait. Now here's the problem. There is a way to do this sort of stereotypical Italian without
fucking cheesy.
Right. There's a way to do this without being cheesy.
Has more cheese in it than chicken Alfredo. Fuck.
Might as well come out eating a bowl of it.
I know. Seriously.
Ooh, chicken Alfredo sounds good.
It's bad. It's just.
But the thing is, Tony D'Angelo is actually a really good athlete. And the problem is, if it wasn't for this gimmick and this AJ, whatever his name is, it was bullshit. It was stupid. But it was a boot to the side of the head for the win. It's like, have him beat him with his finisher and put that over. Like, what the fuck is that?
There was nothing. It was so anticlimactic.
Also, Tommaso Ciampa. Also, Tommaso Ciampa is still on the NXT roster, so I have no idea what they're doing with him.
Whatever.
Oh, I don't like that. It's annoying.
You want to talk about a mess? This whole match was a fucking mess.
Hindsight is so 2020 for me.
Well, no. Here's the thing. We talked about this. When it comes to more than two, when it comes to more than just like one-on-one, whether it's teams,
especially with an MSK team,
there's so many spots in this fucking match.
It should have been Imperium versus the Creeds. I don't know why
the Creed brothers are greener than artificial grass.
But there's something with them, and they don't. They need a little more seasoning. That's all they need. They're right. And they're literally right
and
there.
They're the most generic fucks in the history of this fucking industry.
No, I think them being generic is a good thing.
No, it's not.
No.
And then they got Andre Chase and his fucking university bros. I'm like, fuck, man.
Were they in that match?
No, they weren't. They were in the crowd.
They were?
Yeah, they were.
But they're actually really over with the crowd.
But there's like a bunch of little Hun bros here. Like, you want to sell fucking Amway to me or something.
Hindsight's 2020 with MSK winning. It was a Hurricane Rana powerbomb. They're still such a great... this one soured on me because of what happened after. But I thought overall it was a good match. But hindsight was so 2020 for me. That was just really hard to see what happened, you know?
Yeah.
It's
whatever.
It sucks. And watching it now, you just know how hard it was.
Yep.
Like,
you just imagine a little Nazi little thing on...
Let's talk about... Now, okay, I will say one thing. This was a great match.
Oh my God. This
Fatal
thing was
4-way.
it was so spotty.
Mandy Rose, Cora, Jade, Kaylee Ray?
Yeah.
And Io Shirai. Io Shirai, number one, is such a fantastic wrestler.
Did you like how in our fantasy league I put Kaylee Ray versus Kylie Ray just to fuck with you?
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Fucking kill you later. Yes, it was Kaylee Ray because I not only get it from you, I get it from our fans. It's so annoying. No, the thing is that I like this.
That was a piece of your chair.
Yeah, you're ruining it.
I know.
So I still like this match a lot.
Let's put it this way. All right. So Io Shirai is too good.
She's so awesome.
She should have been fucked off ages ago.
Cora Jade needed a one-on-one, not for the women's champion. Cora Jade is definitely something special. Don't get me wrong,
but she's not ready for this.
No.
This should have been a one-on-one, I think, with Kaylee Ray.
But I will say one thing.
And Mandy. But
Mandy actually has come into her own, and I will say one thing. She's really quickly becoming my most improved of the year by a mile.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem, though, because we obviously knew what happened during the pre-show where Raquel, I guess her new last name is Rodriguez versus Dakota Kai won Dakota Bay won the women's tag team champions. I really thought that the final member of Toxic Attraction would lose the women's champion. But it's like, who's going to challenge her next?
Right. It's like you have 4 of the top contenders going against her. Who are you going to choose from this point?
Yeah.
Because it was a boot. Io Shirai was the one who ate the pin too.
Yeah.
And it was like, I like...
It was a clusterfuck. I did not like this.
Really? I like Mandy Rose winning, but at the same time, this was hindsight 2020. Why did you have the rest of Toxic Attraction losing the belts?
Right. You should have had all of them lose the same night.
Right.
And you should have had Toxic Attraction get involved in the match.
Right.
Why weren't they involved?
In some way, shape, or form to at least save somebody's reputation. It was a straight up Mandy Rose run.
It was a straight up pin. It's like, Jesus Christ. Where's the heat?
I do not necessarily agree with you that it was a bad match. Just the decision of that win and who was pinned was questionable.
I'm not a fan. Anyways.
Gunther and LA Knight. This was a really hard-hitting, fun match. Now, you see, here's the thing. This is where WWE gets it right because they separated out a title match and a non-title match and then a title match. This is the palate cleanser. This was perfect because it was something that this was not, your 5-star match, but it was still a fun match, good hard hitting. There was a rivalry going into it.
It wasn't a very good rivalry going into it.
It wasn't a good rivalry, but it didn't have to be for a palate cleanser. Why did it have to be a great thing for a palate cleanser match?
I don't know. It just didn't serve a purpose.
It did serve a purpose.
Both of them are off the... It just doesn't matter.
I'm going to talk about this when we make this shit majestic again because this is where WWE got it right this time, where Ring of Honor did not.
Okay.
But it was Walter or Gunther.
Gunther.
Yes, it's Walter.
They still keep calling him that. I don't know why.
It was Gunther.
That's his free name. His slave name is Gunther.
Right. Obviously Walter Gunther won with the powerbomb.
Gunther.
I enjoyed the match overall, and I'll talk about that when we make this shit majestic again. We have our main event. Dolph Ziggler, Braun Breaker.
I hated Braun Breaker's entrance.
It was really weird.
For the love of God, please stop with that shit.
It was really weird.
It was so fucking bad.
But
it took him like 20 minutes to cut a fucking X in half.
Right. And you're like really playing into the crowd. It's like, okay, we get it. It's like, it's fine. Do it once, boom.
And Dolph Ziggler is not even a fucking NXT superstar.
And he won. And then on Raw, he lost. Why? And then people are like, oh, people are getting their eyes on the product. Here's the thing.
Yeah, because they're desperate. You know why? Because nobody's connecting with these people. I'm going to talk about that too.
Even though people should connect with Braun Breaker because that guy is fucking the next big thing.
I'm going to talk about that because that has been a constant complaint from WWE higher-ups is that people are not connecting with the product.
Right. Braun Breaker smashed his face onto the corner and then ate a super kick and got pinned clean. Pinned clean.
Yeah.
It was a great match. Don't get me wrong.
It was a decent match.
Yes, because Dolph Ziggler is great and Braun Breaker is great and they had a great match.
They had a good match. So, but fuck, man. These people are not getting over, and I can tell you exactly why they're not getting over.
So when we come back, do you have anything else to say?
No. Well, I have a lot to say after we make this majestic again.
What is your fun thing for the whole show in general?
Oh, I don't care.
I have a thumbs up on it.
Cool.
Peanut Gallery can eat a dick.
Well.
He gets 2 thumbs down for eating dicks. So.
Wow. Well, that was an awkward. That was
canceled.
That was an awkward transition.
So when we come back, we're not only gonna make NXT and Santa deliver Majestic again, but we're going to make Pro Wrestling.
Are you still
Majestic
on?
Again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I thought you pressed the button to stop.
We're gonna make Pro Wrestling Majestic again.
Jesus.
Peanut Gallery's over here destroying my chair.
Well, so what happened was one of the little things fell off, and then I put it back on, and then one fell off the other side. So I have no idea what's happening right now.
Funny. So let's make this shipment again. Peanut Gallery. These two are such spectacular wrestlers. Breaker really sort of had this moment where his timing on entrances is weird.
I don't like the timing on entrances at all. I do like now they're finally starting to acknowledge the fact that Braun Breaker's dad was Rick Steiner, or is Rick Steiner, which is fine. I mean, it should have been known from the very get-go. I have never liked the Braun Breaker moniker for his nickname.
But when he leaves and eventually goes to AEW, he can go as his actual name, Bronson Rick Steiner.
Right. Or Rex Steiner, or whatever the fuck they want to do with it.
He is. There were moments in this match where you can definitely tell he was a little overzealous. But at the same time, that's with experience. You have something with this guy.
So the point I want to make with this is that the only reason they brought Dolph Ziggler into this whole spiel with NXT is because NXT is suffering from an identity crisis, essentially, which we have talked about for the last fucking year, because they have been suffering from an identity crisis because they changed their whole setup, and they're not getting the eyes they used to, because you put a bunch of unknowns into the whole roster.
No, here's the thing. You can change the color scheme and everything. You're putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still a pig.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do something where you change the entire identity, have everybody go to a new roster called Level Up.
Right.
That would have been different. I think the perception would have been better if they did something like that. And with Breaker, he did the whole change thing where he broke it from the black and gold, from the original, which gave him a bad rap. He's not trying to cause controversy with the crowd. He's trying to do his best for his employer.
Right.
And what he is told to do, because that's who Breaker
but anyways,
is.
So the point is they brought in Dolph Ziggler because Dolph Ziggler apparently can draw, which obviously he can't based on what we have seen. But it brings up a bigger issue because there isn't a lot of real star power in NXT as a brand. There just isn't. There is a very high lack of star power.
Breaker has the opportunity to be a star, but he's not quite there yet.
And I think that's the same reason why you have someone like Mandy Rose, who is the women's champion. Why you had MSK, who is known outside of the wrestling industry as tag team champions. They're still not putting the titles on the people that need the titles. Like you're not putting they're trying, like, here and there, like with Carmelo Hayes, the North American champion, like Braun Breaker and the NXT champion. Like, they're trying here and there to put on less established stars.
But the problem is they don't have the balls to stick with it.
They don't have the balls to do it. That's why.
Stick with them.
Yeah.
And people, here's the thing. Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, even Mandy Rose, they have the ability to do it, but you need to give them time to gain the people's trust.
Mandy Rose is not an NXT star. She was a superstar on Raw for a long time. She was in WrestleMania 36, and she's the same person on NXT. The point that I'm trying to make is that NXT is having a problem with wanting to stick with these new guys for the long run, which can clearly be seen with the fact that Braun Breaker is not producing numbers, with the fact that these women superstars are not producing the numbers.
Here's the thing: they're not giving these people the opportunity to gain that.
Right. These characters.
This is through no fault of the wrestlers. Braun Breaker, if given the right opportunity, he'll be the biggest thing in wrestling. I can guarantee
he's the most multi-dimensional star in this brand right now.
Yep.
But he's not very multi-dimensional, and that's the problem. Mandy Rose is a very multi-dimensional character, but because we've seen so many iterations of her, we need to see more iterations of these characters that we've come to know. We know about MSK. We know what they are about because we've seen them as rascals on the independent circuit. So we know what they're capable of already. The problem is the vast majority of superstars that were born and raised in the NXT system are one-dimensional, and they are remaining one-dimensional. And that's why you have Dolph Ziggler, because Dolph Ziggler could actually draw in some numbers, which obviously didn't work, so they put it back on Braun Breaker. And there's going to be some other guy that's going to come back from Raw or SmackDown and come take the title away. It's a cycle.
I feel like Robert Roode is going to be the guy who's going to take the title off of Braun Breaker.
I feel like that too, but
that makes sense to me. With the whole thing with Gunther, hindsight's 2020. He went for the NXT champion that week. He went for the NXT champion on Tuesday, lost to Braun Breaker, and now he's on SmackDown because he debuted on SmackDown with only Marshall Barthel. Number one, why'd you break up Imperium? What's wrong with Fabian Eichner? I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either, but we're not going to talk about that because
LA Knight is exactly where he needs to be. He cannot go.
LA Knight's going to the main roster, and they think they're going to make him a manager.
Why? He's so good.
Well,
he should go back. He should go back to Impact Wrestling.
Well, again, this is the WWE system. This is the WWE way. Gunther, I think, pretty much. I mean, besides WXW, he's pretty much been known throughout his career as an NXT UK and NXT guy and a SmackDown guy.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, I have no interest in seeing Gunther anymore. He's not the guy that we knew in NXT UK.
And I already know they're going to ruin him on SmackDown.
They've already ruined him.
They should have had all of Imperium go up and had them have the same name. You would have been fine. And that's the thing. People, even within SmackDown, it was Walter, the entire match. Yeah. Walter. You know why? Because it's not Gunther.
Yeah.
You can't just change the guy's name and expect this. That is killing this guy's career, is that change. Also, he's lost like 50 pounds, and he does not look good.
He looks emaciated.
He looks emaciated. Now, in like pictures, he looks good, but at the same time, like, he doesn't look healthy on television.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if you saw him, but he does not look healthy.
He does not look good. Anyways, but this is what WWE does to people. And I'm sure that WWE said you got to lose 50 pounds.
Gunther, Walter, I don't know what you call him, but my boy, leave. Why did you go?
Okay, let's move on to the next match.
Roman Reigns is probably going to beat you, and then you're going to be put on the 24/7 champion round until you're released.
All right, so I'm going to be honest with you here. Cora Jade actually has a little bit of dimensionality to her character.
She does.
She does. A little bit of dimensionality. That's what makes her good. Mandy Rose, obviously, we've talked about it. Shirai, if you've been around long enough, you know that she has dimensionality. Kaylee Ray, same thing.
She's showing that dimensionality, but at the same time,
that's what made this match okay in my book, was that there was dimensionality.
No, here's my problem with this. This whole thing came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a cluster flank. It should have been a one-on-one match.
This almost devalued to me the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when was this ever a thing?
Right.
They said you go for the Tag Team Champions. Go for the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, because those are the titles that are the newest champions that you need to elevate.
Right.
And they did not do that. And then they put them on the pre-show. What was the point of having the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions and the WWE? That doesn't make sense. NXT is a part of WWE.
Right. Oh, also, why Raquel? I mean, I guess it's Raquel Rodriguez now, because Raquel Gonzalez is
here's why I think is. What else does she have to prove?
And why is she teaming back up with Dakota Kai when they had a blood feud like 6 months ago?
And they only teamed back up for like that week to win the tag team champion. There was a lot there. Why did they win the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions?
Right.
That didn't make any sense.
What gave them the right?
Also, if you really wanted them to both go to if you wanted one of them to go on SmackDown and team them back up, take both of them up. Because now it's like, what was the point? Mm-hmm. And you don't want to say that. I don't get it. You don't want to say that.
Well, I don't get it. I mean,
it devalued everything about this. Devalued the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. It devalued Toxic Attraction as a whole.
Yeah.
But it also devalued Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
There's no more allure to Toxic Attraction anymore. I don't care. You can at me all you want, but there's no more allure to it because they've lost their title.
Right. Well, no, they lost it, but they gained it back.
They did?
They gained it back on NXT literally that week. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai only had the champions for like 3 days.
What was the point?
That's what I'm saying. What was the point of the Toxic Attraction team to lose the titles? Yeah. That's why I was saying that, because they've already won back the Women's Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
I love Mandy Rose. I don't care what you say. Mandy Rose right now, she is peak Mandy Rose right now. She's badass. She's better in the ring. She has.
But that's fine. But at whose expense? At the entire women's division's expense.
It's not at the expense of anybody, because they're not trying to work around her. She's actually putting in some work, and really looking good doing it.
But again, who can challenge her at this point? Nobody.
That's another problem with this Fatal 4-Way. You have the top 3 contenders trying to beat her.
Whatever.
But then Io Shirai, who is a clear logical next person to go for a one-on-one, because Io Shirai is that damn good, she's the one who ate the pin.
Yeah.
You know who should have ate the pin if you wanted Mandy Rose to retain? Cora Jade.
No, you don't want Cora Jade to eat the pin.
No, I think Cora Jade should have ate the pin. 100%.
Really?
Yep. I'll tell you why. Because Cora Jade can be built back. Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray are far enough in their careers where every loss and win counts as a part of legitimacy. They could have done something where Io Shirai hit the finisher, her moonsault, Mandy Rose ran in, threw Io Shirai out, pinned Cora Jade. Okay, you ate an Io Shirai finisher, and it was a sneaky pin. That's how you redeem this.
But
well, everything else outside of the finish was great to me.
It was fine. It was a spot fest, but what can you expect?
It was a Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, what can you expect from a 4-way match?
Exactly. Right. There was a lot to talk about in this. What am I doing? Hindsight is 20/20.
All right, so we talked about how MSK is the most multidimensional, which makes sense. The problem with the Creed brothers is that they're about as dimensional as a cardboard.
But the problem
they're not a cardboard box; they're just cardboard. There's nothing interesting about them.
I think that's just because they're not as experienced, which is fine.
But there is nothing that interests me about the Creed brothers. I don't want to see them on my screen anymore. They're not interesting.
I actually have
the Diamond Mine is so not interesting. I hated that.
I did like the Diamond Mine when it was a full faction, but then they started releasing people and they started losing every match and now started to hurt them. Them
I
being
don't
actually
give a fuck
here's
about the Diamond Mine.
Right, here's the thing. Them being a part of Diamond Mine is hurting the Creed brothers.
The Creed brothers are boring.
They're
as
not.
it is.
Nope.
Yes, they are.
Nope.
Oh my God, have you seen
I'm
them
gonna
in the
disagree.
ring? They're boring.
I think they're very good. I love the Creed
They
brothers.
are. No.
I love the Creed brothers.
I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm saying that their character work is about as...
That's experience. It's only experience.
Then why do you put them on fucking national television? They're obviously not ready for it.
Yeah, they should have been.
NXT problems here. Then you wonder why, Nick Khan, why nobody watches this shit. Because there's nothing redeemable about these people.
Right. Well, no, there's something redeemable about them, but why are you putting them on screen so quickly within their career?
They're greener than fucking AstroTurf, man.
And that's the problem.
Yes, that's an issue.
Nikita Lyons could be really good if she did, like, dark matches, which NXT used to do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. NXT used to run house shows with introducing teams, introducing stuff. They don't do that anymore. They just do these shows. That's like the Creed brothers. If they had that time to develop within a smaller crowd, without cameras, maybe, a dark match, fine.
Right.
They have the ability and they have the talent. Imperium are an established tag team that know what they're doing.
Right. MSK is the same way. They are, I guess they were. They were an established tag team that knew what they were doing.
And we will talk about that maybe. I don't know.
I'm not going to talk about it when making Majestic again because, of course, we're talking about a week later and a lot of shit has happened.
I just can't believe how much has happened within a week.
Great. Welcome to humanity.
Ow. I just clipped my chin to my mic. But we're talking about the Creeds because, it sucks because they're so good as an actual physical tag team, and there's something there.
But oh my God,
they just need some more time to get that camera and character. That's all they need.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to see them on my screen. That was painful to watch,
and that's a problem. You don't want that.
Yeah. Again, let's talk about how boring Tony D'Angelo is.
He's not. Hold on. Hang on. Hold on. I'm going to disagree with you on that. Tony D'Angelo is not boring. He's stereotypical. Stereotypical to where it hurts. Now, if this is him, IRL, that's fine. But there's no way a guy is this horribly stereotypical.
No.
The guy has charisma. He has talent. It's there, and it's blatant.
But it's so bad.
But the problem is the gimmick is so stereotypical
that it just bastardizes the rest of his character.
Right. Now here's the thing. You can do this. You can do this gimmick with hints.
Yeah.
With hints. Like instead of, boppity boopy, beepity boppity boppity, spaghetti lasagna, whatever. You could have done like a little bit of it. And that would have been fine. Instead of who's the Dawn of NXT.
Who the fuck? Well, here's my answer. Who the fuck cares?
You know who's the Dawn of NXT? The NXT champion is the Dawn of NXT.
Also, here's a really interesting thing. Who the fuck cares? Because there is no such thing as the Dawn of NXT.
But I'm saying, if you want to label somebody...
I'm the new Dawn. Oh my God, I'm Italian.
Right. And that's...
Fuck, man. Stop. Who are you, fucking Generalissimo fucking... Whatever.
Right. That's... Of somebody who's a novice, that should not be the reaction.
It's so bad.
If you did a little hint of that Italian heritage within it...
Like, I don't want to see him on my screen anymore. That was so bad.
That's bad to say, too, because the problem is that he is good.
I don't care how much talent he has. I don't want to see him. He has to drop that shit, man.
If he was in AEW, it would be 1,000 times better. I can guarantee you that.
No, it would still be.
Nope.
If he was a Don of AEW, he'd
no.
still be
Number
crappy.
one, they would not book him as obviously stereotypical.
Oh God, no.
That's the
He'd
difference.
actually have some control over his character, and I'm sure even he knows that this is bullshit.
You would have had that hint of that Italian mafioso, but it wouldn't have hit you. It wouldn't have been doing this. It would have been like a little tap. It would be like, here's a little hint of this. Okay, he has that Italian suave, and that's cool. Instead of Italian suave, mozzarella lasagna, Mario Kart. Like
I was going to think that I actually had a premonition that you were going to say something about Mario. Like 3 seconds before you said Mario.
And then Tommaso Ciampa, bless his heart, he's getting this guy over. They had a good match at the very least.
But whatever.
Jesus Christ. It's hard to say that because and then the segment after, they had that AJ mozzarella stick go in there and they were like doing this ring ceremony. The entire crowd was shut the fuck up, clap, 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 clap. They ruined it. That's it. Oh, he's a new Don. They did the Don stuff right as a context of the Mafia, but once again, why? like
who the fuck cares?
Right. Who the fuck cares? It's too over the top. You can get away with this in the early 90s. You can't get away with this in 2022 unless we can guarantee that he actually is a descendant of a Mafia member.
And I'm gonna look it up, and maybe he is, but again, it needs to be more subtle.
They weren't this stereotypical mafioso back in the day. Have the top hat, like the appearance is fine, the theme song is whatever, but have like I said, the little instead of the
like kind of like main event mafia sort of vibe.
Right.
Like not like the new one, like the OG main event mafia vibe.
You know, a little bit of suit action, some swabbiness. Exactly. That's how you win there. Boom. I loved this match. Here's the thing. This did a great showcase for all of what's to come within this North American division. Because Cameron Grimes and Solo Sikoa...
Great. Hold on. Let's talk a little bit about this. So, this kind of rolls back into, I guess, my initial point about this NXT. So you gave the title to Carmelo Hayes. He wasn't moving the needle, so you have to give it to someone who's multidimensional, someone who's more experienced. Because guess what? Carmelo Hayes has no dimension to him. He was just a sweetheart boy of Shawn Michaels. That's the only reason that he got the North American champion.
Right. And it's like, you know why? Because Carmelo Hayes
has the dimension of a sheet of paper.
And everybody saw that because he only did promos with that. It's like, you can put as many people as you want with him. You can do whatever you want with him. And he has all the talent in the world. He's going to be something big.
Right.
But the problem is, that's the point. He's going to be something big.
Yeah.
He's not there yet. He's not ready for...
And then Solo Sikoa, he's kind of like the bastard child of Bloodline. Why are you not emphasizing literally the hottest act in all of WWE right now, and you are not including him as kind of like the protege of that?
Right. Why is
like you're not like getting an Uso in there and helping him or something like that?
People know that he is the brother of the Usos. We know this. That's why he's Uso. It's like... Even within the promo that he did on NXT, hindsight, by the way, he said, titles are within my bloodline.
Right.
He literally said verbatim. Why is he known as Solo Sikoa instead of Solo Uso or something?
Something like that.
He's the brother of the Usos.
Yeah.
Emphasize that. Emphasize the hottest act to somebody who's actually starting to get it.
Right.
Cameron Grimes, you're right, multi-dimensional. He knows what to do on this stage. Carmelo Hayes is not there. Santos Escobar could have theoretically been there.
Because he's multi-dimensional.
Right. And Grayson Waller, once again, he just needs some more.
That was the other guy.
He needs some more seasoning. You have the talent right there. He has the charisma.
Right. But like I said, the only reason that Carmelo Hayes got the North American champion was because he was a pet project of
Shawn Michaels, and it was clearly a failure. Because everybody was bored of him.
Yeah.
I was bored of him, and I like Carmelo Hayes.
I was bored of him. I didn't even know who he was. So
it's like that
I knew who Solo Sikoa was before I knew about Carmelo Hayes. Right. And that's because Solo Sikoa is related to the Usos.
But at the same time, Carmelo Hayes, you can see the talent in the guy, but at the same time, he's not ready for this position.
There's no dimension to
Let's
him.
try this again. He's not ready for this position.
No.
You know why NXT, the original Black and Gold, was as popular and as relevant as it was? Because they put the people who weren't as experienced, like everybody else basically here, with people who were experienced, who could carry it. Mm-hmm. Santos Escobar, God bless his soul, cannot carry a 5-person ladder match.
Right.
Because he and Cameron Grimes have a different perspective. You cannot do something like this and expect people to take them seriously.
Right.
You just can't.
Right.
You're getting a little too characterial with the characters. Right. You don't want that.
Right. And this is the same issue with and again, this is the same issue that has been happening with AEW stars at Ring of Honor.
Rep.
It's all coming down to the same thing. The conclusion that we can draw from these events is that they're becoming extremely protective of their brands.
Yep.
That is how you know that a war is starting.
Yep, and honestly, it's starting to hurt the people that are involved within this brand because they're being very picky on who's going to be shown on television, who's shown here. It's like Keith Lee. He was the biggest signing. Where is he now? Yeah, they overblew this roster to the point where established AEW guys are going to be on television. The other guys are going to be off to the wayside. Unless you're your Wheeler Yutas right now, who William Regal like, who Bryan Danielson like, good for him. But what about the other guys?
Right.
It's like Swerve Strickland is soon gonna be on Dark and Dark Elevation, if not Ring of Honor.
Right.
He deserves better than that. But that's what happens when you sign 90,000 people without having a clear roster separation.
Yeah. So. That's kind of the conclusion we draw. Obviously, next week is TBD.
Yep, it's going to be up in the air. We have a lot of different topics to talk about. We even talked about a couple of different ones within this entire show, which would be a great topic. But there's no pay-per-view. We were off by like 1 week.
Yeah, we thought that. We thought that
Rebellion was next week. It's the week after next week. So
anyways, watch out for any news and updates.
Become a patron on Patreon.
Yep.
Check it out. There's the little QR code right here.
Yep.
Scan that. You'll find all of our social media. And as always, be
majestic.